This is about a New Zealand weightlifter, Laurel Hubbard, who became the first transgender athlete to compete at the Olympic Games. This is progress. The key thing I want you to do is justify your position. The curriculum itself is Oracy, so we're teaching the mechanics and the cogs by which the students can then pick up and drip feed into learning in and around other areas of the school and use in other subjects.
It really doesn't matter if you're a female, male.
It wouldn't be fair because of the fact that you still have that testosterone.
I'm kind of in the middle of both agreement. For starters, if you think you can run fast but you don't know what level you are on, I feel like you should go in like an all race, like where there's no categories at all.
Everyone should have a chance to go in different categories.
It's going to be more about shape and like what your body can achieve.
We look at past events, we've seen cases of women protesting because they weren't equal with the men.
We're teaching them things like how to ask really high quality probing questions of one another. We're teaching them in that lesson particularly how to have an effective disagreement. So it both serves as a learning tool, but also you can see how some of those skills can reach beyond the classroom and be really fantastic tools for the rest of their lives as well.
Oracy is something that really kind of raises the bar for all of our students. It means that every single one of them is getting a chance to communicate within a rich language-filled environment. For some of our students, English is an additional language, so they're not getting to do that at home, but also for some of them, there isn't a language-rich environment at home. We really want to make sure that we're levelling that playing field for all of our students that are in this school.
My idea is to have shade areas around the playground, so we won't have to suffer.
Teachers need a break from the students sometimes, and similarly, we need a break from the teachers too. So why doesn't a room like this exist for students?
These students have been working over the last term to develop speeches where they get to propose a change that would make our school even better or would improve our school. And to make that really purposeful for our students, we ensure that whatever that winning proposal is, it gets put into practice.
I used to be really shy and I couldn't speak up. And with the school making me do all these speeches and stuff have actually given me a confidence boost. And so now I can speak freely in front of crowds, which is a really important skill in the real world.
Speaking is something we do every day when it comes to interviews, when it comes to press conferences, when it comes to several things. One important skill people have to have is speaking, because if you can't speak properly, you can't get your point across.
I agree with Nafemi because honestly, speaking is one of the most important skills of our life.
You there, do you fancy living in an eerie, dust-filled, factory-like world where all you can see are people begging and where the human race is soon to be eradicated?
Switching the world to renewable energy will cost £40 trillion, but the payback will take just 6 years.
So for Year 6, they develop their Spark speeches about 2 Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations that they feel most passionate about, and then they go to Salesforce Tower, the Heron Tower in Liverpool Street, all the way to the top, and they perform it in front of their peers, they perform it in front of their parents, and also a group of volunteers from Salesforce, and they get lots of feedback on that as well. So it's this really meaningful end of the event for them.
The biggest piece of research done on Oracy impacting outcomes was done by Cambridge University, and that research suggested that the students that took part in their learning through rich Oracy practice improved their outcomes or improved their progression by over 3 months in maths, English and science.
So we are going to have a look at some numbers, okay, on the board, and I'm going to read them to you. You are going to use this sentence stem, my turn, your turn. I think is greater because.
I think is greater because.
Good job. Everyone understand?
Yes.
Off you go. Thank you, Brody.
Get me stand up.
A 2D shape is a shape that only has 2 dimensions.
Fantastic. Give me an example of a 2D shape.
A triangle.
Does anyone want to build on and tell me why? Go on then, Grayson, you're dying to tell me.
It's called a quadrilateral because quad means 4.
Fantastic. Okay, we know quad means 4, it's a quadrilateral, that's 4 sides.
So, you have read a statistical report, and what we're going to do now is a pro-repair task. And what this program pair task is the importance of having a beginning, a middle, and an end to a statistical report.
In the beginning, it talks about what the person actually thinks, what their hypothesis is.
The conclusion can just be wrapping up its thoughts, and yeah, that's basically it. So what do you think?
You're talking to your peers, you're developing your ideas, and you're actually seeing maths in real life instead of just numbers or algebra. But you're actually implementing it into your day-to-day life by talking to your peers and developing the single thought that you had.
My key bit of advice would be to start small. Don't try and take on everything at once. Choose one key strategy. Try and do that across your school and make sure that everyone has a chance to come back and talk and reflect on how that went before you go on to something else. So just do less well is a tagline that we have always used. I think as a teacher it's completely changed the way that I teach, but also my classroom environment. If I'm honest, it's less taxing because you're not having to stand up there and spend 20 minutes kind of lecturing or kind of speaking. You're handing over so much of the learning power and potential to the students for them to learn from each other, and as a teacher that's really inspiring to see.